Alright guys, RuneScape week. We're gonna be talking about the D-Long. We're gonna be talking about the free armor trimming. Do you think that's funny, noob? Do you find it amusing that we'll be talking about the buying GF? Yes, we're also gonna be talking about monkey nuts, bots, Zezima, weeds, and we will most definitely be spending a lot of time talking about the gnome child. Now then, here's Highland Andy, or Highlandy for short, the pinnacle of Snowflake Iron Men accounts. His goal is to do everything Gielinor has to offer, once and only once. This is HighlanderMan. This video is sponsored by me. I recently started a Patreon. Now, don't worry, I don't feel like I deserve any money just yet, but I wanted to make sure I get it made ready for the day that you feel like I do. There's no rewards or anything just yet, but I'm sure I can come up with something interesting by the time someone actually signs up. Anyone who does give anything, though, of course, would have my eternal gratitude. But again, don't feel like you have to. Thanks for listening through this little bit. Now, let's get back to what you actually came here for. Big thank you to me for sponsoring this video. Hello, and to the 4% of you who are watching from Mexico, hola, and welcome back. I'm sure you'll all remember from last time that our current goal is to complete part of Dragon Slayer, the Lost City, and Priest in Peril. We have a long list of things we need to do to complete these, but we first made an attempt to improve our quality of life a little. One thing you need to know about this account is that it sucks. And I say this because our agility is currently at 2. Since we also have almost no teleports, we have to walk everywhere. And if we could run a bit faster than your average survival horror character, then maybe we could finish the series before 2025. So we went and played around a gnome ball.
Alan Shearer. Shearer! Shearer! Oh, what a super goal that was.
This was not a fun experience. At my level, I can't hit the broad side of a broad barn, even when I'm stood an inch away from it.
Look at this dude.
But that did give us enough agility experience to give us no levels. Wow, this sucks. No wonder it's dead content. No ball pet when? The other thing I can do here is at the Gnome Agility course. Now the rules are that you can use each agility obstacle once, but some obstacles have multiple options you can take to finish them. I've already done one full lap, so I can't do that again, but I can climb this netting here for an extra little bit of experience. Though I do have to teleport out afterwards, as there's no other way out. At this low-ass level, there is only one other hope available to us to hopefully get us some agility levels. Our next stop is Sunny Karamja! The Brimhaven Agility Arena could technically be done at level 1 agility, though it's not something you should ever normally do. The goal here is to tag the pillars that have an arrow above them, so you can be rewarded with the tickets. These tickets can then be exchanged for agility experience, but the first pillar tagged doesn't give you a ticket, and if you miss a pillar, it also resets. So I'm going to have to get pretty lucky here to actually get any tickets. Here's a map of the arena. I can't cross these gaps as my agility level is too low. I can cross these gaps as many times as I like, as they don't give experience, and I can cross these gaps multiple times as they have multiple but limited crossing points. And these ones can only be crossed once ever, so as you can see, it's not looking good. The best plan I could come up with is to wait for the active pillar to be one of the two closest to the entrance, then pray and hope for the best. So after standing around for a while, the chance finally came. Here goes nothing. I got super lucky on the first ticket, and then couldn't get the second one at all. Maybe with enough standing around though, another opportunity will present itself. I should probably take this opportunity to mention that for the purposes of this series, one ticket can be acquired per pillar. So tagging the pillars only crosses it off if a ticket actually comes out. This way we get a few more tries on pillar RNG, but we also can't get infinite tickets by waiting around a 0 XP obstacle from now until the end of the universe. After getting 3 tickets, we managed to trap ourselves with no obstacle we could use, so we had to teleport out and then run back to try again. And when I got back, I realised the true gravity of our blunder. I thought these handholds had a level 1 requirement, but they actually need level 20, which means there are no more obstacles we can actually reach without going over obstacles we've already used. We have, in fact, agilities ourselves into a corner. Well, that's our first mistake leading to content lockout, which sucks, but it was bound to happen sooner or later. The XP we're missing out on isn't a huge amount, but with there being so little available at a low agility level, we probably cut ourselves off from a few things in the future. On the bright side, we can finally stop standing around here, as that was taking forever. We cashed in the few tickets we had and got ourselves to 9 agility, which means we can try the Shazian low level course. As always, it's a bit of a long walk.
Fuck this continent.
You know, I'm something of an athlete myself. Ooh, a free bucket of water. Completing 1 lap gets us to 10 agility, which lets us go and do 1 round of the drain or rooftop course. It wasn't enough to get us to the next level, but it does complete a Lumbridge easy achievement, so that's cool. But with that, our short agility grind is over. There might be a way to squeeze out a little more experience later on, but as it stands, there are no more ways to gain significant agility experience. This skill is locked away from us for now. So, was it worth it? Well, kind of. Level 10 agility gives us about 10% faster run energy restoration over level 1, which will add up to a lot of time saved over the course of the series. There's also this island of moss giants we gain access to, that's pretty cool. Other than that, there's not much else it gives us. It was worth a shot though. Now, let's actually do those quests you came here for. We will be trying to run through all the easy quests we can find that don't grant any or give very little experience to stay within the rules. Our first goal is to get to 32 quest points to unlock Dragon Slayer, so let's go on a quest already! It's Halloween while I make this, so I claimed the holiday items in case we ever need them, and then picked all the berries south of Varrock. We killed a rat and a bear for their meat for Druidic Ritual. Then we were approached by this weirdo in Varrock Square asking us to find his girlfriend, so we quickly killed her off so we could get with her cousin. Next up is Druidic Ritual, so we finished up the kill list with a chicken and a cow. We dipped it all in the Nickwell, destroyed our liver, and unlocked the Herblore skill. Next up was Ernest the Chicken, which I can't think of a joke for. After that, we went to the Black Knight's fortress and ruined their manly milkshake by adding soy milk. Consider yourself feminized. Yo, this radical left business pays pretty well. Next, I need you all to brace yourselves, because we are about to do the most lore-impactful quest in the game. A quest so intense and difficult that it is listed last in the Wiki's optimal quest guide. A quest with such a deep storyline that it is never mentioned again after its completion, for mortals do not dare to speak of its haunting events. I am of course talking about the Clock Tower quest. For those of you not familiar with the game, I am just fucking with you. Clock Tower is like the most nothing quest in the game. It requires basically no items to complete, isn't required for anything, has almost no plotline, and rewards almost nothing. It's last in the quest list because there's essentially no reason to ever complete it unless you wanted a questcape. But with all that said, the quest actually does have a special place in my heart. It's so simple and so newbie that I always end up completing it early on all my accounts. It's such a humble story. You're just fixing a clock, reminiscent of all those other super simple quests that everyone loves, like Cook's Assistant and Gertrude's Cat. I think that's why this quest always stuck with me. By the end game of your RuneScape journey, you're slaying giant dragons, unveiling conspiracies, and killing a god. But it all really starts out with just one kid with dreams of one day owning a dragon chain body, killing cows in Lumbridge, and a monk with a clock that just wants to know the time. Mod Tom, if you ever see this, thanks for making Clock Tower. It's a great quest. Right, there's too much genuine emotion for this series, so here's an emergency fart to get back on track. Anyway, for me, in Snowflake Iron Man land, the 500 coins are actually pretty useful, as we have access to almost no money at this point. So, next up, we solved an average internet debate by proving to them that they're both just as bad as each other.
Kids, you're both just awful.
We did use up our one purchase of woad leaves from Weiss and the Gardener on this one, but buying dyes from Aggie isn't limited at least. Same logic as the sawmill and the tanner for this one. Next quest, Pirate's Treasure. We help perpetuate the rampant alcoholism in the pirate community by bringing the captain some Caramjan rum, and in exchange we got the map. Next quest, Sheep Shearer, where we shade-fed the farmer's balls without permission. After that, it's below Ice Mountain. We needed some bread, so we grabbed the one that spawns below the Carnelian Mansion. Could have baked our own, but I didn't want to waste the water required to make the dough. And oh yes, I am limiting water, by the way. With everything we needed, we went to learn how to become the next Saxton Hale. Then we did a bunch of other stuff, fought a rock golem, no big deal, and job done. 2k in the bank and a whole new area to explore. Next quest, Corsair Curse. Something about a ghost inside a PC case? I don't know, I was just holding spacebar the whole time. After that, it's Dwarf Cannon, where we toil away and injure ourselves to make something we can never afford to buy ourselves. Now, what does that remind us of, Next up, it's Merlin's Crystal. We did some expert level espionage to sneak into a tower, grabbed some stuff, said some magic words, and freed Merlin from gay baby jail. Then we did Rune Mysteries to unlock rune crafting, and Wolf Whistle to unlock summoning. Getting close to the end now, we started Recipe for Disaster, and made the equivalent of what you'd find in one of those liquid waste bins at an airport. Looking at this table spread reminds me of something actually. I got a new channel banner. Big thanks to @Einrod on Twitter for drawing this for me. I've put a link to their Twitter below. They draw some really cool RuneScape related artwork, so go and have a look at it. Moving along, we got to cross one more random event off the list, the Drill Sergeant. I just wish we actually got a reward from it. Next up, we did Shield of Arav. Shout out to this guy for the help. Afterwards, we went on a magical murder mystery tour in Miscellane Mystery.
Play of the game. Double, triple, quadruple kill.
Next, I think it's time we stopped paying tax, so we went and saved the prince so we don't have to anymore. And last and possibly least, we played the best video game you've never heard of, Sheep, which is conveniently enough as annoying to play as this quest is. Whew, I'm sure the word quest is starting to feel really annoying by now, but as far as I can tell, we have completed all the quests we have available to us, as per the requirements and the rules for this series. We were able to finish 18 quests in total, and get up to 47 quest points, which means we can cross the first of the 3 main quests off our list, Dragon Slayer. We only need to get up to the point where we receive the anti-dragon shield, which doesn't take too long at all. And there we go, 1 anti-dragon shield has been acquired. The next goal on the list is Priest in Peril. Normally it has no requirements, but our convoluted rule set gives it a level 31 prayer requirement, which means more anxiety-filled trips to the Chaos Altar. Oh goody. Oh, I'm getting too old for this shit. Now, if people knew my inventory was nothing but small bones, maybe they wouldn't bother killing me, but oh, who am I kidding? Of course they would. Based on my calculations, and with average RNG, it should take around 400 small bones at the Chaos Altar to get to level 31. I don't have any teleports, so it takes a while. My current route is just to walk from Lumbridge, up through Edgeville, then up along the western wilderness border. Once we finish an inventory, we touch the Forbidden Wine, which kills us and sends us straight back to Lummy to do it all again. Luckily we can complete the quests Dragonbone Man 1, Making History, and The Restless Ghost along the way to save us a few trips. Right, let's get this done. Well, it was bound to happen. I got PK'd. Some guy correctly guessed the world I was going to hop to and was faster on the draw than me. I went straight back, hoping the bones might still be on the floor, but no. Enjoy your 300 GP bank key, I guess. Luckily, my inventory was nearly done, so I didn't lose very much, and I also realised I should be using protect item, so that'll save an extra bone. Oof, that was stressful, but it's finally done. I swear my therapist is going to be sick of hearing about this soon. So, who are these toxic RuneScape PKers you keep talking about, Render? Are they in the room with us right now? It may seem like I'm overreacting, and that's because I am, but also it's because if someone kills me and takes my bones, I can never get them back. They are gone for good. So the maximum prayer level I can then achieve is reduced every time someone kills me, and that's pretty lame. Anyway, by my calculations, the quests I'm allowed to complete should give me enough prayer XP to get to the level 31 that we need. So first up, Rag and Bone Man, episode 1, The Phantom Menace. We needed some logs for this one. I was planning to do one big grind where we completely deforest the entirety of Gillinor at some point. We'll need to do some wood cutting for the Lost City quest before that though. Anyway, we got our first logs off the ground spawns for now. We then bought some vinegar, killed a goblin, a monkey and a big frog, polished our boner and got ourselves a prayer level. Nice. Next up, we did the Restless Ghost. We spoke to everyone's favourite Twitter influencer, Father Eric, got spooked and put the ghost to bed. Job done. Now we'll just do making history and...
Like I made a mistake.
Well, no worries. We'll just do one more Chaos Altar trip real quick. Okay, done. Now it's time to cross off one more quest from the big 3, Priests in Peril. We'll need 50 rune essence for this one, so we started by mining that. We're allowed 1 inventory of essence from each rock, so 2 trips should do it. So, the quest. We talked to the king, killed the dogs, alright, killed this guy, brought some essence, and the quest was done. It's a pretty unassuming result given all of the build-up, but this unlocks the whole of Mauritania for us to explore, which is a hell of a lot of content. So much, in fact, that I bet you could probably make a whole series based in this region alone. Nah, it'd never take off. That's another of the big 3 crossed off though, so last is just the Lost City, which has 3 main requirements. 31 crafting, 36 woodcutting, and some way to kill the tree spirit. We'll start with the easiest, some crafting levels. We only need 2 levels, so we went and picked some of the remaining flax plants. Hot tip! You can start the Fremnic Trials quest so that you can then use Peer the Seer as a bank deposit box. Nice little trick for you there, put it in your TikToks. We then spun the bowstrings for an easy level and it was time for woodcutting. Level 36 is the requirement, which is pretty high by our standards. Doing some quick maths, we would need to chop 1,000 normal trees to get to this level. I don't even know if there are that many trees in the entire game, but luckily we can chop oaks and willows partway through this grind, reducing that number by quite a lot. Ideally we would have had the Kandarin headgear for this, as that gives you double logs from normal trees, but that requires 20 agility and there's no way for us to get that. RIP. The rules on woodcutting are as simple as they could be. When the tree falls down, it is out of here. Don't chop it again. So we need to get the wood to win the game. Let's do it.
Wood. You get the wood, you win the game.
Ooh, a first bird's nest, with a medium clue no less. Let's see if this is doable. Step 1 is good, but step 2 is on miscellanea, which we can never go to. How sad. I knew the casket was going to have ranger boots in as well. Well, time for more wood.
Wood, please.
Oh cool, an easy clue nest. Let's hope we have better luck completing this one. Step 1 is good. Step 2 is going to be a bit harder. We already have the gold ring from Pirate's Treasure. We can make the gold necklace easily enough, but the bronze spear is a tricky item for us to find. We can't make one, we can't buy one, and we don't want to waste potential Slayer experience by killing goblins or minotaurs, because those can both be assigned as Slayer tasks. So our next best option is going to be killing either Jogers or Tribesmen. I decided our best bet is going to be to safe spot them with magic. First step, get some magic equipment and some runes. So we stopped off at Betty in Port Sarim for some runes and a cool hat. Aubrey and Varrock for some more runes, and Zaffa for some staffs, and that's not naff. We're quickly running out of money, but there's not much else we can do. We need the runes to train up magic anyway, and our only real option is going to be to buy them. The staves will help us by saving us a bunch of elemental runes, so that's pretty good. Actually, thinking about it some more, I didn't need to buy the water, earth, or fire runes right now, as we will be using staves to replace them. Damn, this series is hard. Okay, one thing we also need is some magic boosting equipment. I already have a magic robe top from a beginner clue scroll, I think, an amulet of magic, again I think from an easy clue scroll, so I'm just missing some bottoms and some gloves. Other slots aren't going to be possible yet. For bottoms though, I thought I'd try and snag some Zamorak robe. We didn't have any luck at Patadomus, so we moved over to this temple near the Goblin Village, and got lucky, but for the wrong item. Hope isn't lost yet though, as there are some more outside the arena altar. And our hopes paid off. 1 Zami robe bottom obtained. All that's left is something for the glove slot, and we just so happen to have the hard leather gloves from Recipe for Disaster unlocked for a +1 magic bonus. And here is our final magic setup, at least for now. I look like an absolute menace. Let's go kill some Jogers. Quick thing about magic training. I would technically gain more total experience by using defensive casting, but because that reduces the magic experience, a skill I really need to level, and gives it to defense, a skill I don't need to level as much, I'm not going to be doing it. If you wanted the highest total experience, you should be defensive casting. If you wanted the highest magic level, you should just cast normally. Just wanted to put that out there. One weird quirk about monsters' magic defense in RuneScape is that the defense stat makes absolutely no difference on your casting accuracy when attacking them with magic, meaning that since Jogers have a magic level of 1, I am just as accurate against them as I would be against something weak like rock crabs. So there's no need to worry about wasting runes on excessive splashing. We ran out of runes after just 2 kills, but luckily that was all we needed. Bronze Spear has been acquired, so I can complete the step. Hopefully the next one is easier.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
So the cowl and the scimitar are easy. I already have them. But the wizard robe, oh boy. I really went down the rabbit hole trying to think of how to get this. You would think, for such a low level item, it would be easy to obtain. But the only ways to get one are either a 1 in 18 drop from wizards, of which there are only 17 of them in the game to begin with, and only 7 of them we can actually reach, and we need to leave some alive in case we get a medium clue step requiring us to kill one in the future. Or a 1 in 25 drop from lockboxes in the Camdozel vault, which is a huge grind for such a small chance. Or a 1 in 45 drop from a beginner clue scroll. We already got a black one in the same way, and we even tried to complete the step with it just in case the spaghetti code somehow worked that way, but it did not. And again, that's a pretty long grind for a small chance of the item. The last option is that you could dye a black robe blue by using blue dye on it, but woad leaves are actually really hard to get on this account. We already used the 2 that we can buy from Weiss and the Gardener in the Goblin Diplomacy quest, and the only other way for us to get some would be to farm them ourselves. But that requires 25 farming, and the drop rate of woad seeds is actually pretty low across the board. So all those options are equally terrible. I really didn't want to give up on another easy clue scroll, especially when it seemed like it should be so simple to complete. But with no avenues left to try, we had to leave it to fate. We decided to roll the dice and kill 3 wizards. If we didn't get the robes in 3 kills, we're going to drop the clue. Bring on the suspense. Wow, this feels scripted as hell, but we did in fact manage to land the robe on the 3rd kill. What are the chances? Well, actually about 15%. That's not what I meant! Hopefully, with all of this effort, the clue scroll will actually be done now? Not yet, but this one's easy at least. And done. With all that effort, surely the reward will be something good. Saves us having to buy a steel pick, I guess? I don't even remember what we were supposed to be doing after all that. Oh yes, woodcutting. 14 levels to go. We're never going to finish this woodcutting if we keep getting clues. If I get a blue wizard robe from this one though, I'm going to be so... well, nothing really, it's just a video game. We got one of the few remaining random events on the way as well, the Pillory Guard, to be rewarded with a measly 40 coins. And the final step, but the loot is trash. Back to the wood. I do wonder if I'm the first person to chop any of these trees down in all of RuneScape history. Like, why would anyone normally train woodcutting at any of these places? Probably some dumbass like me has been around and chopped every tree in the game before just to be sure, but kinda cool to do it now though, to go into all these spots that we would normally just walk straight past because they're not optimal or close to a bank. Kind of like how we used to play before we cared about EHP numbers and XP per hour rates. Anyway, we got another beginner clue, so let's go get that reward. And it's a blue wizard robe. It's just a video game. We're almost at the required 36 woodcutting, and we actually can do the Monk's Friend quest to get that last 2k experience we need. So we went, and we did that. That's 2 of the 3 goals completed for Lost City. The last is to figure out a way to kill the tree spirit. Now the normal way is to use the Crumble Undead spell, but that requires 39 magic. That's a bit high for us right now. It's not really required though, as again, the tree spirit has a magic level of 1. So as we said before, magic will be easy to hit on it. We just need to be able to kill it in under 10 minutes, as otherwise it's going to despawn, which I think should be doable with Fire Strike. So for that, we just need to get to 13 magic, and then have enough runes to kill the tree spirit as well. Our big issue is money. In terms of money, we have no money. Ideally, we would want to buy a full set of 27 air rune packs per shop, as that's the maximum we can buy under our rules. But that's going to cost us about 12k GP per purchase, way above what we have right now. So we're going to try and make do with just the 50 of each of the single runes that we can buy from each of the stores. With the runes we've gathered so far, we've decided to head back to the Jogers to try and get those 3 levels. No clue if this is going to be enough runes though. Actually, it was way more than we needed. 2 more kills and we had the level of Fire Strike. The next problem to solve is how we can get enough runes to cast Fire Strike enough times to be able to kill everything we need to kill on Entrana. I really wanted to go overkill on this because if we ran out halfway through, they would all be wasted and there's no getting them back. The wiki recommends 65 casts of Crumble Undead to beat the quest. Fire Strike has a max hit of just over half of that of Crumble Undead, so if we take more than twice the casts, we should be good, right? We're quickly running out of runes we can afford to buy though, so we tried killing some monsters for rune drops. First we tried the elementals in the elemental workshop, and second some dark wizards. Oh, another beginner clue. Not a terrible reward. I can sell the staff for a bit of money. There is actually another magic store we possibly can use, but only if we can get to 20% Arceus favour. So we quickly did X marks the spot because I thought you had to for some reason. We're going to save that lamp for now as I'm giving it the same rules as quest XP rewards, and it gives 300 XP. I wanted to use it on magic, but I'm not high enough level for that yet, so I just destroyed it and we can reclaim it later. We also got another beginner clue, which we went and did. So to get our Arceus favour up, we will be role-playing as a librarian for a bit. The rules here will be that once I get an item from a shelf, that shelf is crossed off and cannot be searched again. The locations of the books rotate every so often, so I will be able to get the same books multiple times, but only for so long. Each time I cash in a book, I get an XP tome that can be used for runecraft or magic, and I will be choosing magic every time, as it gives far more experience and is going to be far more useful in the long run. This will let us get our magic up a bit without needing to waste quite so many runes. Having fun isn't hard when you've got your library card. Man, I've done this grind before on my main, on the OG Boomer client, and wow is RuneLight an improvement. It just tells you where the books are. You kids these days with your Toctics and your light runes, I'll never keep up. So here we got requested a book that we've already found. So now we have to world hop to reset the spawns in order to try and find it again. To be honest though, this kinda seems overpowered. All this magic XP without needing runes? Looks like we'll be getting a lot higher of a magic level than I first thought. This should make the fight with the tree spirit significantly easier though. In addition to books, there are also manuscripts which can sometimes be found, and traded into this guy for more favour and magic experience. We decided to stay here until we hit a brick wall on the books, as the higher we can get our magic level, the less runes we will waste in the long run. Plus, you can't bank any of the books anyway, so it would be wasteful to not do it all in one go. We're starting to run out of usable shelves to get books from. From what I can tell, each book can only be found on a certain set of shelves. So once we've exhausted all the spawns for a single book, the next time that book gets asked for is the end of our librarian adventure. There are also the manuscripts to make use of. These have their own set of spawns. Each time you find one, the spawn moves. So I go upstairs, ask Biblia where she thinks it is, go and pick it up, and repeat. Sometimes if the script ends up on a shelf I've already searched, I'll search it again to make it remove spawns. But I always drop the script to make sure I'm not cashing in on the same shelf multiple times. Just when this grind was starting to get unbearable, I got a really nice message from I Am Truly Alone. Great username, by the way. So a big shout out to them. And it turns out that gnome barman tip I gave in a previous episode actually came in handy for them. Who would have guessed? If you ever want a shout out, or just to send some good vibes, feel free to add me and drop me a PM. I'll always appreciate it. And hey, you can be internet famous if you want. 50,000 books used to live here. Now it's a ghost town. That is it though, I am calling it here. I've hopped through about 10 worlds in a row and not been able to pick up the book I need, or any new manuscripts. I've already been stuck here for at least a week in real time, and I don't want to spend any more time on something when I don't even know if it's possible or not. What's the most annoying thing though, is that I currently have a copy of every other book in my inventory, other than the one that he actually wants. Typical. On the bright side though, I was able to skyrocket our magic level to the astronomical heights of 53, which means we are now officially a mage pure. I never thought we'd be able to get magic this high across the whole lifespan of the account, let alone just from the library. I kept expecting us to get Stonewall, but the individual books actually have so many shelves that they can be on that it just didn't happen. They just kept coming. And they don't stop coming. Anyway, with all that said and done, we can now use offensive spells up to Earth Blast. But more importantly, we can now use Crumble Undead, and be way more accurate with it as well. The Tree Spirit fight should now be more like a Twig Spirit fight. We just need to find some more runes we can use. We started by selling our spare staves to Philomena, as she gives the best price we can get from all the available shops. We then went to Thyria and bought fire, mind and air runes from her. We decided against buying chaos runes in the end, as 1, they cost a lot, and 2, we don't have enough air runes to use them all anyway. So next shop, it's the Mage of Zamorak. We went and did the Enter the Abyss mini quest to gain full access to a shop. We had to get teleported to the Essence Mine 3 times to triangulate the spell like some kind of freaking spy movie. I chopped the dead trees that are in there while I was there because efficiency isn't a choice, it's a lifestyle. With all 3 teleports done, we went back, gave him the orb and... account ruined. Wait, what? Since when does this give you a 1k runecraft experience reward? I was using the quick guide for this, as I always do for quests, and the reward isn't mentioned at all. Now, if I was smart, I would have checked the full guide, or just remembered it from the last time I did this, but I am not smart, so I did neither of those things, and accidentally broke the account rules again. Honestly, I'm pretty bummed out about this. I really don't like making exceptions to the challenge because it feels cheap. I even thought about trying to carry on as if I still had level 1 runecraft and trying to mentally subtract 1k experience from my level at all times, but it would only be a matter of time before I forgot to do it. Crafted more runes than I should be able to from a single inventory, and it all started to get very messy. So I'm going to be keeping the experience. But those ill-gotten levels will forever be on my head! To make it as fair as I can though, I will not be going to the Abyss, unless I can somehow reach level 28 runecrafting, and I will be treating the Mage's Rune Shop as if it was the pre-mini quest variant. Runes also become cheaper after the quest, so I dropped the excess money to simulate paying the higher amount. I hope you can all find it in your hearts to forgive me. I was a different person back then, but I'm hoping I can grow and change, and that you'll continue to support me going forward. This apology is sponsored by Raycard Shadowbird. The last rune shop we can legally access is at the Mage Bank in the Wilderness, so we bought some more airs, mines and fires to give us these as our final rune totals. It's enough for 28 casts of Crumble Undead and 106 casts of Firestrike, which given our overly high magic level, I think should be enough to finish the quest. So let's make it happen. We tricked the warrior into telling us about Xanaris. Found the leprechaun, who told us to head to Intrana, so we took that boat and sailed right on there. Something you might not know, that I only found out because I was experimenting, is that the monks don't care about you taking magic boosting gear on the island, so I've got some free accuracy bonus. Suck it, monks! Down in the dungeon, we actually have one more way this can go horribly wrong. The drop rate on bronze axes is 1 in 2.56, with an additional 1 in 128 chance to get an iron axe. Now, it's pretty unlikely, but since there's only 5 zombos down here, there is a chance we won't even be able to get the axe to begin with. Wish us luck. Well, your wishes from the future must have reached me, as we got the axe in only 2 kills. Thanks everyone. All that's left now is the final showdown.
That was easy.
I guess we really did go overkill on the preparation for this. With our magic level being so high, Crumble Undead absolutely rinsed this goon. We cut ourselves a branch, made it into a staff, headed back to Lumbridge and... sweet victory, which means we have finally completed all our goals. We can finally go and get a Slayer task from Vanica. I know it must have seemed like a long road for you guys, but I assure you it was even longer from me on this end. But hey, taking an overly long, roundabout route to achieve arbitrary goals is the name of the game when it comes to Snowflake Ironman accounts, and you know you love it. So, what am I going to get? Hill Giants, an excellent task. But this script is 10 pages long already and my voice is starting to hurt. So I think we've done enough scaping for now. I will see you all again next time, when we can start the slaying we've been building up to this whole time. See ya! Whew, and that's the end of that. I'm not kidding about my voice hurting. I've recorded this whole thing in one go. Currently looking at 45 minutes. I'm not sure what it's going to cut down to. Anyway, I'm going to stop apologising for the delays between episodes, because I don't think it's going to stop happening. I'm very bad at estimating how long things are going to take. When I start planning an episode, I make a goal as where my start point is and where I want to end up by the end of it. But sometimes I don't know how long it's going to take between those 2 points, so I think I get a bit carried away in how much stuff I'm doing in one episode. The big things with this one were the Brimhaven agility grind and the Arceus library grind. Those both took ages. Anyway, thank you all for your patience. I'm glad you're all here. But you may have noticed I've been experimenting with some other types of videos as well in the meantime, between episodes. I've decided I'm going to be doing more of that. Because these episodes are taking so long to come out, it makes my channel a bit dead between releases, so I'm going to be sprinkling in some other types of videos in there to keep activity up, keep the ball rolling. And they've been doing really well, way better than I expected, so thank you everyone for watching those. And again, yeah, just thank you everyone for the support. We've almost reached 100 subscribers. We're on 99 as I record this. So my goal was to reach 100 by the end of the year. So I'm gonna get to that, I think, with a few weeks to spare, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you all so much. I think I've said everything in my list. Yep. Okay. Thanks everyone. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next one. See ya.